Hello everyone and welcome back to another brand new MotoGP 24 criminal. I do apologise for the gap in episodes, just been very busy with stuff, but we are back today for the German Grand Prix. Now, historically, Sachsenring has not been a great track for me. You would think on paper, long hanging corners, really late apex, is a very flowy track, would be right up my alley, but unfortunately, I've just never really gotten onto this track as well as others, and my KTM unfortunately just does not like the sight of this place. So from the very first few laps in practice, you can see here we're 2.5 seconds off and we improve and go a lot closer, but we stay pretty much absolutely nowhere. So usually within like the first 5 laps of the weekend, I kind of know what weekend I'm in for in terms of how fast my pace will be. Getting as the weekend went on, it got quicker and quicker and we got a bit more comfortable and we dialed the bike in, but just never really had that turn of speed that you really want at a racetrack. I just didn't feel fast. I felt like to be somewhat on paper looking decent, I had to really try riding very over the limit. And here you can see here with 22.5 minutes left in Friday's practice, we resort to getting a tow from Bezzecchi on the GP24 in the VR46 squad. So it's unfortunate that we have to use these tactics, but we just go P10. Thankfully, we just hold on ahead of Oyagor, who's on our bike from last year, which is quite a surprise that they're that quick. But yeah, we're managed to get directly to Q2, which on paper is very good, but it wasn't really much of an improvement for me because we came here too early Saturday morning. First few laps, nothing, absolutely no speed at all. And I think it was right, we need a wheel. I need to get on the back of someone. Through the long hanging left corner here, turn 5 and 6, have a bit of a moment, and that is Mario Vignale who picks me up and punts me off the track. And I go, grand, I'll get in behind Bezzecchi here. Not Bezzecchi, Bastianini, and go for another run. But fortunately, the pace just wasn't there, and we do not improve. We end up down in P12 behind Zarco, my teammate from last year. 1.3 off pole position. Really not good stuff. So it's been a carbon copy of every weekend pretty much we've had all year on this KTM, where I don't feel very good on Friday or Saturday morning. I'm kind of hoping at this point that it's just a running team that I'm not going to feel good and I can perform the races. At this point, we've qualified 12th. I was so far off in qualifying. Tried to get a tow, got punted out by Aprilia, and then tried to follow another Aprilia. Just got left for dead. I just genuinely feel like I don't have the same control as my competitors. The way they change direction, I physically can't do it, and the way they just hold their line is absolutely mesmerizing. And I just simply can't do that. So, unfortunately, my strengths of corner speed and long corners, which would really suit Sachsenring, has really been a bit of a nightmare for me. So we need to think more of the stop and go tracks, but then sometimes we have wheelie issues. So yeah, it's going to be a interesting sprint here. We're going to learn a lot for tomorrow's race. I'm a little bit worried that my competitors might see me as a weakness and just try to pass me at any given chance and basically rough me up. So I'm going to have to be really aggressive, but I could see a couple of warnings, penalties, and maybe a crash or two throughout the sprint. 5 red lights, let's go. Come on, get a good start for once. Teammates absolutely launched it. Contact down it to 1. We're going to run in deep. We're probably going to get a warning. Got one there already for the touch, and that should have been a crash. So I'd say we have been taken out here early in the sprint. Quarter hours down, collision with someone behind. Our sector is so poor. Incident, I got a warning. I'd imagine that's for the rear ending of my teammate, which, you know, I will take, as always being over aggressive. But we are still P11. Just can't turn it like they can. Struggling mid corner. Now, the lap that got me directly into Q2 and on a Friday, I followed Bezzecchi, and I noticed that I just couldn't really do anything against him. He was faster than me, and I was able to stick with him. But in terms of pulling anything back on him, it was just not happening. So, quite worried that I might get into a bit of a dull, boring race here where we're faster than some riders behind, and then, such as these 9 riders ahead, just seem to slowly ride away from me. As always, though, we are golden down into turn 1. That was a real nice feeling to know that I probably have a quarter of a second there in sector 1 alone, which is quite sad because we're already so far off, and the fact we're that much better than them in sector 1 means the rest of the lap we're going to be really weak. So we're going to have to try and learn on the job here. But as always, this bike is just causing me a lot of issues. First tap of the throttle, doesn't like to turn. Regardless of what I do, I've tried low traction, high traction, I've tried multiple different setups, and I just can't get it turning the way I need to at this track. So we are going at pretty much our limit at the moment, so the 19.2 is not far off what our fastest lap is. It's just we don't have anything to kind of bridge on top of that. We're faster than we did in qualifying. Feel like I'm riding pretty well. I get the most out of this bike. And I think we are doing that, but just from basically Omega to Saxon curve probably. We're just not competing with these guys. I think I got a good exit out the last corner, and I think then I'll lunge on the brakes into turn one, and that makes up the difference. Also doesn't help that Bastianini and Acosta are battling, and they keep kind of doing like that. That just leaves me onto the back from a bit more, which means that the gap isn't too bad then coming down into turn 8, and then I can kind of build again through the next sequence of corners. But fortunately enough for me, I just don't have anything to pass them with. It looks like now Acosta has maybe just half bike length more than he's had in previous times. See, Bez now is on the prowl, so P10 here, that is not even a single point here in the sprint, so we're still waiting on maybe a mistake from a rider in front, but if Bezecchi comes along and steals one, that will be definitely no points. Oh, once again, the two of them, big mistake. I'll say the Aprilia Ovenea is turning so much better than the KTM of me and Acosta. And I think that's what's catching Acosta. Is he actually I think he's faster than most of the lap, just doesn't seem to have anything. It's twice we've gotten warnings. Are we going to get a big warning for this out here? That will be a long lap if so. We're just over half race distance, so I'm already using up my warnings pretty regularly. Acosta's definitely losing a bit of speed because I am definitely catching him now through the bits of the corners that I haven't been catching him yet, so maybe he's gone for a bit of gamble. You can see how much Enea has pulled in the last lap or two. But would I be able to manage enough? I just don't have. Look at the apex there, completely missed. It's not getting close enough, and we have no more warnings left, so need to be very careful. Last lap time. Here comes Bezecchi. Trying to pull as much in on Acosta as I can, or a little bit deep into one. Also, I don't think I have anything to pass Acosta with. And one is really where I am strong. And it got me close to him. But unless there's a mistake from Pedro, I don't see where I'm going to get anything from him. One corner to go. Don't think I have any grip for it. Running hot. Can we drag him to line? Very unlikely. Almost, but not enough. So, Maverick Vinales wins it. Jorge Martin ends up down to 7. Not too sure if he had a moment or not. Didn't see anything on the graphics, but he definitely was up in P2 for a lot of the race. And ends up P7, so not a massive gain for him. I finished P10, which is unfortunately 0 points in the sprint. So, yeah, it's a disappointing race. 8 seconds off. Felt average enough for the whole thing. Didn't really have much of an advantage anywhere, just into turn 1, the heavy straight line braking over the bit of a kicker into turn 1. I could just seem to control the bike a bit better than the rest, but fortunately that is not really enough when you're not really getting out of the last corner good enough. And I definitely just can't hold the line the way the other bikes can at the moment, so a bit of a struggle there, but let's see now what we can do in the main race. So main race time, same situation really. Hopefully we get the tyre offset that we usually do, and that can propel us forward, but I believe it is actually a softer medium front is kind of recommended, so don't think I'll gain much by having the extra softer front really. So we'll see. Usually the pace is a little less hot on a Sunday, and I can kind of maybe make myself look a little bit better, but again, not too sure. I'm going to try some setup changes again and just see if I can make something happen, but I am a little bit unsure at the moment. Oh, we need to have a slightly better lap 1 in my eyes, maybe propel us into a better result. Didn't learn from the lesson in race 1, or sprinter should say, not race 1. That's definitely a better start. We're going to be aggressive on Frankie too. We'll be on the outside for Omega though. Going up the inside of one of the Promax, I think it was Jack. It's a brilliant start. Again, we're going to be aggressive. We're going to try and set him up slightly. Be nice if he did sit up, but he didn't. Oh, rear end is sliding around. We don't have the grip at the moment. Cold temperatures. Pretty much the perfect lap one up into the podium spot, and we're already gaining on Vinales. Here, as you can see though, in one bit wide, pushing to the limit. But this is when we need to risk. Looks like maybe as well the setup is working a bit better. Interested to see my own lap times. Because like I said, usually on a Sunday they drop a 10th or 2, whereas I don't. Sometimes I can even go faster on a Sunday, which makes no sense. Fortunately, again, so it can't make some XXs. Bez is after falling off behind. So our first lap of the race in 18.9. Pretty happy with that. It's the fastest I've gone all weekend. Like I said, not always do I find speed when I need it, but this is turning into a bit of a champion's ride, trying to limit the points to Martin. After a mistake on Saturday, he is now trying to stretch back out his points lead, which he's doing as it stands. Fastest lap of the race to me. It's exactly what we need right now. I'm right on the back of Vinales now. Another fast lap on that last lap. We're up a lot on this lap so far as well, so maybe this isn't going to be the terrible weekend after all that I thought it was, but we are really close to the limit. I've had a few nervous moments so far that I really need to be careful of. First warning in the book, we'll take it this far into the race. Good run on Vinales. Can we do him on the brakes? Just leans in. Not really sure what he's expecting there. He's gone wide. We hold the position. We're not under warnings or any investigation, which I think is fair. We were pretty much alongside. Just tips in as if we weren't there. Gonna be a very, very fast lap. 18.4, that is ridiculous speed. It's a second faster than we went in qualifying. It's the sort of speed we've been using now in the last few laps to pull in Jorge Martin and to maneuver Vinales out of the way. We need to stay on the back wheel of this guy now. We know he makes a mistake or two around here. We've seen it in years gone by. He does like a crash late in the race if he's under pressure. Back limit warning for Jorge Martin. Shows that we are both very much on the limit at the moment. Two main men going for the championship, 1 and 2 here. 1 and 2 in the world. Be a big scalp if I can take back some points off him today. Considering the weekend we've had so far, having absolutely no speed till the main race, which is, as always, quite ironic to me. We're on a brilliant lap here, and to be honest, if you can see the tyre graph, the front tyre is starting to go off. Small lapse in concentration there on my behalf. See what it does is push out wide here. It might be the toe broken. I'm gonna have to push a lot now in this next lap to try and bring this back down. Oh! I was just about to say, Jorge Martin looks very wide there out on the dirt. I'm in a bit of shock really, because I'd taken a few laps off because I felt like the left side of both my tyres was getting very hot. Just making sure to hit my markers, and it's completely distracted me. And look at that, we've blown the corner completely. If the flag goes out like this, we are currently leading the championship. How crazy is that? But I believe so now. I think so after the sprint result. It's going to be close. But I believe if we can hold on here for victory in Sachsenring after an unforced error from Jorge Martin. He had built a bit of a gap. I was taking it easy. I wasn't putting him under extreme pressure. And he's just very wide through the very difficult turn 8. But yeah, that's his race done. And that is a massive, massive turning point in this championship. Here comes Bastianini. I think he's wide. Square him off if I can. Looks like we did. I've backed the pace right off over the last few laps. And I must say, just trying to keep track limits and all that at bay. And Bastianini's been sitting there the whole time. That was the first time he's made an attempt. I was a bit wide through Saxon curve. So, should be a case of just trying to keep it clean from here. As we make another 2 mistakes in a row. There is another one. I expect him to take the lead. I expect him to turn underneath me just like that. So we have lost the lead here in the German GP. Hopefully I can just switch on because I've just felt like I've just taken a bit out of my left side of my tyre. Just starting to move around when I ask for the power and just try and throw the bike in. So chance of me crashing now is a lot higher. Just as soon as we tap the power in, it just goes. And yeah, this is still there as well. Gonna be a lunge into turn 1, I imagine, if we're gonna get this move done. Something similar to imagine what this is gonna look like. Gone straight on though. We've taken them a touch wide, have we? We have. So first attempt on the penultimate lap is unsuccessful. Another warning. So we have one more to play with. Head of a run. Can we do anything with it? Same as his teammate. We were alongside him. Just throws his hand up at us. It's pretty much understeered into the side of him. Gonna go for the lunge back at me, I'd imagine. No, he doesn't. Much better exit from him. Gonna block off the outside line. Break deep. Drifting it in now. We still have a good bit of grip on the right. The left, so we are skating. Last lap now, just one to go. I felt like I was alongside him into the penultimate corner. Oh, it turned in too early for Omega. Here he comes again. I'm going to try and shoot up the hill past him. We ride around the outside. Unlikely this is going to work. Go back. Drifting down the hill. Turn 8. Oh, I think we've shown hand too early. I think we have. Look at the gap he's pulled. We're going to need the sublime sector now to get here. Not wide here. Going to come down to the last corner. He's done it. I can't believe we've actually lost this one. We really shouldn't have. I felt like I had the speed, but in the grand scheme of things, it's a 20-point gain on our championship leader. So, Bastianini 1 and 3 for Aprilia. Marvel Vinales running off the podium, me in the middle. Only a second or so between the three of us. Slightly disappointed that we ran out of tyre towards the end. I was just absolutely skeeting around on the left-handers, and this whole track is a left after left after left. So, it was a bit disappointing. Maybe it was fair because maybe the move down into the penultimate corner wasn't the most clean for me. I felt like I couldn't do much more with the way the bike had kind of positioned itself. I couldn't really turn in anymore, and he just kind of threw it across me and bounced off me. But he does get his win. I don't think really there's any threat of him in the championship. So we'll eagerly move on now to the championship standings, and it is down to only 14 points. I thought it'd be a bit closer. So even with a victory for me, it would still only have been 9 points. So we're a lot actually further off. I thought we were closer, but still, nonetheless, it's been a great weekend for my championship.
The top 3 finishers have just arrived. This guy may be a little disappointed not to have won, but it's a second place that will leave him feeling competitive going forward.
So next up is Silverstone for me, a track that I don't know if it'll be a good or bad one. I remember previous years Silverstone was a great track for me, very fast and flowing. I could put the bike where I want, but I feel of late these games for me just don't really give me the feeling that I want at Silverstone. I'm looking forward to it because I go there, one of those tracks that I really enjoy riding. It's fast, it's flowing, there's quite a few heavy braking zones, so on paper it should be, but it's just such a long lap. And the Ducatis will be eager to get back at me. And you can see 14 points now to Martin in the championship, and we already have a 33-point lead over Bagnaus in third. So I must say I don't even remember seeing Pecco once in today's races, so he's had a real mare of a mid-season. But we're going to end it there. Hope you have enjoyed this episode of the Motogp 24 career mode. If you have, drop a like, subscribe to see more in the future. Thank you all. I will hope to see you all once again in the near distant future. Slán go fóill.